Hi, and welcome to Musicians Hangout with your hosts, Crash Fistfight from Dissonant Chaos and Fatal Butterfly, and Maxine Maxwell from the Maxwells.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Oh my goodness, we have so much awesome things happening for us lately, including having Reena Helsinger from Sirens Rain tonight. Yay! Hi! So we'll get into the interview questions right after I go over Musicians Hangout mission statement. And our mission statement is to be part of a revolution, to create friendships with other artists and build a community network to save music. And thank you, Reena, for being part of our community.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's been a long time coming. We've wanted you on the show for a while, and we've been broadcasting for almost a year on Musicians Hangout, and we get to share our anniversary week with you. So it feels very special to have a ladies' night. And just share that with you and get to know you a little more. And I am fangirling out. I've wanted to meet you in person for a long time. So this is the next best thing. So, I look forward to meeting you in person someday.
Yes, me too. I don't know when that will be.
I know.
It was from what I hear, 2021, but I don't accept that. I just don't accept 2021 is the next time that we're going to be able to do shows. No.
I know. Yeah, so our bands were playing the Backyard Festival was it June 13th? Was that the Saturday? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was opening for, you guys were headlining, and I was like, oh my gosh, and now it's not happening. So maybe someday.
It will happen.
Yes, it has to. It's meant to be.
Yes.
So, Reena, tell us a little bit about your band, Sirens Rain.
We are a folk metal band, and what that is you have traditional folk instruments, and then they're layered on top of the metal instruments. And it's kind of an umbrella term because folk metal bands don't all sound the same at all. Like Amon Amarth is technically a folk metal band, but they don't really have like folk instruments, but it's all about the lyrics.
Yeah.
And then you have bands like LVT and Corpa Kalani that have accordions and hurdy-gurdies and flutes and mandolins and harps and stuff like that. And so we've had various different types of folk instruments. We were 8-piece band. We're a 5-piece right now. So right now we have guitar, mandolin, nickel harpa, and Celtic harp. And then we have bass and percussion, and we also use a lot of like tribal percussion, like the big drums.
Celtic drums. Oh my gosh, yes! And you rock that on stage, man. That's so cool.
Thank you.
You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Watch, because we played. Both of our bands played X Fest last year at Louis G's, and you guys had headlined that, and we opened, and after us was Debbie Blackout, and that was the first time I met those guys, and amazing.
Heck yeah.
And I remember watching Sirens Rain and just going, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. You guys have this guy in like this weird wizard hat, and he is awesome. And you're just banging that drum, the handheld drum, and I'm just like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And the lights, it was a crazy, amazing show.
Thank you.
And then I bought a shot glass, so I have my Sirens Rain shot glass.
Oh yeah,
those are, I think, like the best thing that we sell because they're inexpensive and they're lightweight, and so many people collect them. And you have to have a drinking song if you are a folk metal band. It's like
cool. That's awesome. What's your drinking song then?
It's called Acerglyn, and it's an instrumental song, but Acerglyn is a type of maple mead. So we're actually
mead is so good. Yeah.
So we'll probably have to add another drinking song.
Heck yeah.
At some point with words.
Yeah. But that way you can kind of bop away from the stage and grab a drink with everybody if it's instrumental, Like
yes.
Nice.
take your drum down and just dance around, and oh, that would be so awesome.
Like that.
And
Well,
we
you
could
have
all
a
feed you
killer metal
shots.
gal, so you have to rest it every once in a while, you know?
I do. Whiskey is my best friend. Like I call it my singing whiskey.
That's awesome. I'm a Jägermeister girl, so that's what I have for mine.
That, you know how
I'm
like
a vodka girl.
alcohol that they will die if they have it again because of bad things happening. Jägermeister is mine. I can't even smell a Red Bull without throwing up now.
Wow.
Oh,
Darling.
oh, that sucks. I can't do Jello shots very much anymore because like I kind of overdid it on some Jello shots one time. So
Was
now
that
like
over
every time I
Hawaii?
like even have Jello, I'm just like, okay, I got it down. Yeah, Jello's rough nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still drink vodka.
Vodka goes down smooth.
So, Reena, what instruments do you play?
So my mom was a piano teacher, so I started playing keys, but my younger sister took to it a lot more than I did. So when I was a little kid, my sister was really bratty. She's a really wonderful person now, but she was kind of a nightmare. So she would like push me off the piano bench when I tried to practice. So I just kind of gave up. So then in 4th grade, I started playing drums like a kid, and I'm pretty better though, like at snare drum, like rudiments, like the kid. I'm kind of intimidated by it, but I play keys, I play drums, but I've recently started playing the Celtic harp because originally our band had a harp player, and that was something we really liked. And I kind of feel useless sometimes just being a singer because I'm like, I need to do something. And that's kind of what we're all kind of learning, different folk instruments, because it's been really hard to keep folk musicians in the band because they move out of state or they do something else. And it's, you know, when you have a folk metal band, you have all these obscure instruments. So like our Ed, the wizard, he's playing nickel harpa, and our other guitar player plays mandolin. And so I bought an accordion, and I've got the harp, and I'm doing really well with it. So that's kind of my main thing. I find it's not easier than keys, but I find that I have an affinity to it. So it just makes my
How can you change all those strings though? Oh my goodness. Like,
I haven't broken any yet.
Ooh, fingers crossed you don't, because holy Moses. Like, they're different colors, and obviously they're different lengths, and obviously different keys, and how would you tune it? Like, I have so many questions.
You have like this little tuner thing. So there's different types of harps. I have a lever harp, and you can change, like if you want a sharp or a flat, like however you tune it by putting the levers up and down. But the reds are C's, and then the blue strings are F. So that's how you kind of know where you're at on the harp. And mine is a 22 string, and that's actually not enough because I don't have a low end. I'm kind of just in like middle C. So I will be purchasing a bigger harp, but it's not like buying a guitar. They're like $4,000.
Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine. I can just imagine, like, holy. And where would you find strings? Like, it's not like you can just go to Guitar Center and buy, you know, hey, I need a pack of harp strings. You know?
There is actually a really vibrant harp community in Seattle and Tacoma, and I'll give my harp teacher a shout out. The Enchanted Harp in Puyallup has been around for like 30 years or so, and they carry everything. They have music, and they have strings, and they have harps that are $20,000, and then they have harps that are like $500. So you can find anything there. But if you didn't have a harp store like that, then you could probably go to Ted Brown.
Oh,
it's been to me. So here she is.
Oh my gosh!
Can you play it for us?
Sure. So these are the levers, and so I have my A, B, and E up. So if I put them down, then I can play like a wider range right now. So here we go. I'm sitting on a balance ball, so this might be a little weird.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's what you're sitting on, though. It must be comfy.
It has a base to it, so I'm not gonna fly off. But
I know.
Oh, that's good.
It's cool.
yeah.
Cool.
All right. Okay. I just started writing this, so we'll see how it goes. But oh, there we go. Can you see that? Okay, good. All right. What the cat's doing.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Everyone likes to do that. That's the Gillespie there where you go like.
Yes. Oh,
That is so pretty.
that was so pretty. Oh God, yes. It's pouring rain here, so to have the harp and the rain together is like, oh my gosh, so zen right now.
Oh my God, I bet.
So pretty.
Well, and speaking of zen, I've been following your yoga. Thank you.
So,
You.
Larry Cowles would like to know where they can find you at.
So we're on all of the webs, but we have our website, which is sirensrain.com. And then we're on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. I mostly do Facebook and Instagram. Unfortunately, our Instagram was hacked and it sent a virus to all these people.
Oh,
And
I
I felt really, really bad.
yes.
So I started a new one. So it's Sirens Rain Band instead of Sirens Rain Official. So Sirens Rain Band, and it's got our little eye logo with like the dead mermaids in it. So
Oh, sweet. That's cool. Yeah, I got a message from your band and I was like, oh, you got pictures? And then you were like, don't open. I'm like, okay.
it seemed totally legit because sometimes people give you like fan art, right?
Yeah.
So I got a message like, hey, I made these pictures of you. And I'm like, cool. And it didn't look spammy or anything. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, you thought of me? Like, I was like, oh.
It's so nice, right? I'm just like, this isn't out of the ordinary. And then some people weren't really nice about it. And it's not my
Oh,
fault.
come on.
Not your fault. Agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, and block me. Like, I didn't do it on purpose. So,
Oh my
whatever.
God. Well, viewers,
Some people are
Sirens
just not
Rain.
that awesome.
Yeah. That's all right. So I'm like, and it wasn't worth it to like, I was worried that if I reported it, but like, I was worried that if I logged back in, it would just keep virusing. So I'm like, I'll start a new one. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, that's understandable. I don't blame you. Yeah, that would suck.
Oh, well. What are you going to
It happens, right?
do?
So tell us a little bit about how Sirens Rain band formed.
Like all great bands, we started off with Craigslist.
Yes. Beginning of a story.
How many good friends I've become with because I like met people on Craigslist, like auditioning for a band or finding band people. Like I've met a lot of really awesome people in my life because of Craigslist, which is good because
Right. Yeah, I met my old bass player off of Craigslist. And he turned out to be amazing. I mean, we'd still be jamming if he didn't live clear down in Longview.
Oh, yeah.
With that said, hi, Trent.
So it was like 2014, I think, and I was just on Craigslist, and Will, the bass player, my partner, and we were both between bands, and he was kind of like, I'm going to give up music, I'm going to sell all my shit, like people, like, I'm so depressed, I'm going to sell all my stuff. And then I'm like, oh my God, there's an ad for folk metal. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, this guy plays the hurdy-gurdy, and he wants to start a folk metal band. So, and that was Stokely, who was our original member. And so we answered that, and then That was like May 2014, but we didn't actually start playing. We found all these obscure instruments, but we couldn't find a guitar player, which was really weird. So then we didn't play until Halloween 2015.
Ooh.
And we had like 2 shows that year, and then like 2016 until the virus hit, like we've been playing really constantly and doing bigger things like Hempfest, and we kept trying to go to Europe, and then that kept getting canceled. And then we were going to go to Maryland. We were going to do an East Coast tour this year, and then that got canceled. So since 2016, it's been pretty steady, which has been really good. So we've gone through different iterations. We had 8 people, we had 6 people, now we have 5 people. So we're trying to make it more sustainable, because it's really expensive and it's really hard when you have 8 people, and not even like a personality thing, just like the logistics. Can everybody fit in a car?
Right. And everybody's instruments too. So you need to take 2 or 3. So
yes.
Yeah, that would be a lot. And you guys went to Canada. You did a festival in Canada last year, right?
Yes, we went to Metal Wk Lipstick Festival twice, and then we were supposed to go to Fallen Fest in February, but that didn't pan out. So we were supposed to go next year. But the Canadian metal scene is so rad, and they all support each other, and they all they'll travel like 14 hours. Like they'll come from like one part of Canada to the other part of Canada, and it's really cool. It's just
come on, Seattle. You got to get our shit together now.
Yes, Canada.
Canadians are going 14 hours. You can drive half an hour to go see us. Come on.
So when they have the Metal Wk Lipstick thing, you guys, both of your bands should apply, because you have to have at least 1 chick in your band, and you both meet the criteria. So and we were the only American band. Like, they're open to having more. I don't know if just people didn't apply or whatever, but last year they had a band from Tasmania, like Australia, New Zealand. They came over, and they have bands usually from Mexico too, but it's mostly Canadian, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. Like,
awesome.
Hell yeah, that's the best place for a festival.
It's so awesome. It's like 4 hours past Vancouver, and it's so fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll apply. Yeah. Can you send me some info on that? Like, I don't really know how to begin to apply, so I would love to do that.
Yes, I absolutely will.
Right.
Yeah, let's do this. So I am a high school teacher, and I admire that you are a professor. If you don't mind sharing with us, where do you teach?
Sure. I teach at St. Martin's University in Lacey.
Yay! I went to St. Martin's a long time ago.
Did you? Oh.
Yes, forever ago. And it was awesome.
A lot of those people are there, like the monks.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't know that you taught at St. St. Martin's.
Yes.
Well, and how different has this distance teaching been? Like, it's crazy for me. I've gone on YouTube. I teach through YouTube art lessons. So I'm a high school art teacher, and I launched a YouTube channel when we shut down, and they've been picking up art supplies and lesson plans and watched me on the video for 8 weeks now?
Wow.
And I saw you guys went through graduation, so you had a virtual graduation.
We did. It was so fun. We've been planning it for about 6 weeks, because my boss is amazing, and she is super smart, and she foresees all these things happening. So we were very prepared for all of this. We actually didn't come back from spring break. So the last day that I was on campus was, I think, March 6th, because we had spring break. And so we were like, you know what, we're going to test out our virtual teaching capacities way before like the stay-at-home order came through. We're like, we're going to take a week after spring break, test it out, see how we do. And then we just never came back. So
yeah,
the online graduation was really cool, because we created a video for the students, and then they created like a senior video, and we had it live streaming on YouTube. And then
it was YouTube. Okay, I was going to ask the platform.
Yeah, we used Zoom, and then live streamed it on YouTube, so that all of their families, because we have at St. Martin's, there's a huge Hawaiian and Pacific Islander population. So a lot of our students they're not here. You know, they live in the dorms usually, but so we had people in Hawaii and we had people in different states, which was just really nice. So everybody could watch, and it was kind of, we tried to make it as normalized, I guess. Like we had guest speakers, but we had gotten together and made gift bags for all of the students that they opened on camera in front of their families. So it's just an exercise, I think, in being creative and flexible.
Yeah. And that's what we've all had to do in this. You know, we've all had to have our own creative ways to get through it. And so, it's so cool to see how we persevere, you know, like who would have thought we were doing that in 2020?
Could you imagine though, like the last time they had a huge pandemic, like 1918, there's no internet, or like in the bubonic plague where they locked you, like they nailed you into your house. Like we have it so easy. We have the internet, we have phones, we have
comfy couches, and we have instruments, you know, all of us. So we have entertainment.
Yes. We can totally be entertained at home.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Indoor plumbing and showers and that kind
of Oh my gosh, yes. We are so fortunate, you know, that all we have to do is shelter in place to try to stay safe. It's hard too, but it's got its days.
The more time that passes by, you would think it would be easier, but it's not. It just makes it harder because we're just over it. I'm done being stuck in the house. I'm done just not going to shows, and I want to go play music, and I want to go see my friends, and I want to go hang out with, you know, my loved ones.
Yeah, I hear you.
It gets harder and harder because, you know, more time passes by.
It does. Well, and our lead medical professional here on the peninsula has announced that we're not even going to go to phase 4 until September in Palm County, so in the county that I'm in. So that's kind of devastating. I don't think we're going to be able to have any campgrounds open out here, and you know, not camping on the peninsula. What the heck?
So does that mean you're going to start the school year off online then?
You know, there's different ideas about that. We might have a soft opening in the district, meaning that we'll have class sizes of 10 and we'll rotate, like Monday, Wednesday, we'll have different students versus Tuesday, Thursday, and we'll do a lot of the online teaching too. There's different plans though. We have, I think, 3 or 4 different plans. That was just one that I can remember that seems the most realistic, I guess. So
with your art classes, do your students, so obviously they're watching on YouTube, but do they send you pictures of their art? Like, how does that work? I'm so curious.
So we have a pickup drop-off day. So we have pickup on Monday for projects and then a drop-off on Friday. So if kids can't virtually send me their projects, then they can drop it off in my box, and then I can take pictures of it and grade it. Or a lot of the kids, they just email me. They'll take a picture with their phone and email it to me directly. And I've been putting together a virtual art show for the end of May using their artwork. So that's pretty sweet. And tomorrow we're launching a mask making competition to kind of commiserate and celebrate this weird time in history and just get the kids creative and doing something fun. In fact, I got my example over here. So this
my God, please show them. Like, that is the best mask ever.
So this is what I made. It's a plague doctor mask. So,
What is it made out of? Is it that looks like tin from here?
So there is a form that I used. Ooh. And I taught mask making 3 years ago when I worked with social emotional learners, and I bought these forms and I started to make this mask, but I never finished it. So I had cardstock as the skeleton of the mask, and then I paper machéed over that, and then I duct taped it to give it that more metal look.
Oh.
And then I dry brushed acrylic over it, and then I added the accessories because I have, random spikes and studs because I'm a metal girl, so I have these things around my house.
Yes.
So yeah, that's my example for the flyer, and kids are super excited. I've already talked to some of them about the mask making contest, and they're already starting, and we're getting them supplies if they need them to pick up on the pickup days to make their masks. So, we got to think of ways to have happy memories through this too.
Oh,
That is so cool. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty rad. And I've been getting some amazing art from students. They are taking my art lessons and they're adding their own spin to it. And I definitely encourage that because creativity, imagination, all of that is so therapeutic. So
Rebecca, she says that it looks like a raven.
it does. It does kind of look like a raven. I'm glad I got to share that with you guys. Some show and tell.
Awesome.
Yeah, when you sent me that pic of it the other night, I was like, this is cool. Like, it makes me want to do a mask. But
I wanted to use it in my next music video, but it's top heavy and really uncomfortable to wear. So I think I'm going to make another one like it that fits better and I can wear in the video. Speaking of music videos, though, Reena, your nightmare video is rocking. Did Sky Warden do that?
Yes, he did.
dude, he's awesome.
His girlfriend is in it. She acts in it. Kylie. Or Kaylee.
Kaylee.
Yes, Nuda. She's Nuda, Crash.
Yes, I know who she is.
Okay, yes.
Because I'm friends with Sky too. I've been friends with Sky Warden for long time. Long time now.
Yeah, that music video is awesome. You released it last year?
Almost 2 years. It's like a year and a half.
2 years. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And we were about to, so two things right before the quarantine. Hi.
Well, that's my bro.
Oh, cool.
Well, your brother really loves Raina's cats.
Yeah.
So I should introduce them. This is Sounder, and he's a 20-pound asshole. This is Kratos, and
yes, and he is the god of war.
Yes,
that's so freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I am a god of war fan. Like I literally platinumed the new one 4 times because it was that awesome.
He's afraid of everything though, but at least he has a cool name. But he's afraid of everything.
That's kind of hilarious.
That's like my cat Fernando. You'll never see him. You won't see him in camera. You'll see Miss Bats, but Fernando's like, no. He's kind of
I had to really bribe Fernando to get his birthday pics done because
I did. Yeah.
They were awesome.
Thank
I was
you.
like, how did she get him to do that? Like
Churros, kitty churros, man. It's like kitty crack for him.
Nice.
Yeah, it is really nice. Tell us a little bit about that music video, though. The song "Nightmare" and like that whole project. Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh man, everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. So this song was about, so a lot of what, and I know that you do this too, Maxine, like a lot of what we do is write about local legends and mythology and ghost stories. And so the song Nightmare is about a cemetery near Arlington in Maltby, where there was this really wealthy family that had a mausoleum, and there were 13 steps from the top down to the bottom. And it was said that the mausoleum was the gateway to hell. So that if you walked down the steps and tried to get back up, you were confronted with the gates of hell, and people would go deaf and crazy. And so they actually ended up like bulldozing it because a bunch of drunk teenagers would fall down and get hurt. But the cemetery is still there. So the song is called The 13 Steps to Hell.
Ooh.
And the music video was really fun.
Nightmare.
What?
We have a
Oh no, sorry.
Nightmare, not 13 Steps to Hell.
I'm totally wrong. Nightmare.
That's totally fine. You can talk about whatever video you want. I'm gonna listen. Like just
yeah.
Okay, so 13.
Metal Goddess, you're fine.
I want to do a video for that. Nightmare was about, have you ever experienced that, like where you fall asleep and you feel so safe and you're going to have a good dream. And then all of a sudden you realize it's a bad dream, but you're too far in it and you can't wake up. That is what that song is about.
Yeah, because that's how it ends.
Yes.
She wakes up and is like, whoa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Will, the bass player, he's bringing me my harp and then telling me that I'm wrong. So that's yeah. So when we filmed this, we filmed it. So Ed, the guitar player with the wizard hat, his dad has a shellfish company on the peninsula in Lake Bay, I think. So that's where we were at. And Sky had just bought a drone the day before because we had all these shots of like motorcycles and like portals opening.
Yeah.
Well, he had bought it the day before and he hadn't really read about how to use it. And what happened was he didn't know about the error message like when the battery was dying. And so the drone got lost in the Oyster Bay and got washed out to sea. And like we stopped production and there was a boat and like a bunch of people went and tried to swim and tried to find it. And he had like just bought it and it was
God.
like $600 or something. It was expensive.
Oh.
And we had lost all that footage because that was like the end of the day. So we lost a lot of the motorcycle footage and all these really awesome things. And then oh God, other stuff. Oh, so Kaylee originally wasn't going to be in the music video. She was the production assistant. So there were 3 girls that were there. But then the one girl, she was like 18 and she got bit by a lot of mosquitoes and had to go to the hospital. And then her mom wouldn't let her come back the next day. So insert Kaylee. And then we originally were going to have, there's that big fight scene in there. We literally had 100 extras. Like, I'm not exaggerating. We had 100 people confirmed. All of this stuff happened.
Wow.
And we only had like 15 people show up. So then we had to make it look like, and then, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember when this guy stole a plane and then the army chased him down?
Yeah.
That was the day that happened, and the plane crashed on the adjacent peninsula and shook us. So we're like, what the? So we're like watching the sky. We're like, why are these like army planes coming? And we heard this crash and everything.
Oh my God!
Everything that like could have gone wrong did go wrong, but it still worked out in a really awesome way. But
Yeah,
it was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Holy cow, girl!
Dude, too bad you wouldn't get into like a bunch of trouble, but I would have been like, dude, and make like all that like part of the whole video because that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It is.
Did it kind of feel like you evoked that? Like,
I think so. Like we're just like, okay, so how do we just be creative? Because a lot of creative stuff comes out of adversity, like we were talking about. So we're just like, okay, so we lost the very expensive drone. We couldn't find it. There's a plane crash. Like there's mosquitoes, but it worked out.
wow, that's crazy. I have a crazy drone story myself from our video Took Too Soon. We filmed it out at Lake Crescent, and Lake Crescent is known as that kind of that lake that steals souls. In fact, it claimed someone just in the past few weeks. But anyway, we were out there and our producer had just gotten his $2,000 drone and it got lost. So he had just gotten it. He ran it over the lake, beautiful shots. And then all of a sudden it crashed into a tree and was gone. And he spent a couple weeks coming out from the Seattle area to look for it. And Lake Crescent is 45 minutes west of us. So that's about 3 hours away from Seattle. So he would come out every couple days to look for it. He did find it. And the footage was okay because it was waterproof, but
wow,
we were.
Dude, I still can't believe he freaking found that thing. I can't believe he like walked over it like a million times.
Yeah, exactly. So we were supposed to film everything in one day, but we ended up doing another day. And when I went into the water, because I was portraying a woman who had been murdered in the lake and then resurrecting as a zombie, when I was filming, I went backwards so that my producer could reverse that so it looked jerky and creepy, kind of like like scary movies like The Ring. And when I went into the water the first time, the current sucked me in, and I was, engulfed in water. I was submerged. I couldn't get out. It kept sucking me in because I had these big billowy skirts, and it just kept pulling me. And my husband was there and pulled me out. So that was like really creepy, really scary. I had the full-on zombie girl contacts in, so I couldn't see. And it was horrifying. So we did that in about 4 more shots because I just couldn't take the cold of the water. For one, it was the end of October here. And then for 2, it scared me. I was scared. I'm scared of that lake.
I don't mean to sound like a mom or protective, but I am a little protective over you. I don't want you back in that lake. Like,
I'm not going back in that lake. No. Even my dad is convinced that the ghost might have followed me.
I think maybe she was trying to like have you understand her perspective, maybe of what.
I don't think he was hurting me. I think the lake was. I think it was the lake. I think she didn't let the lake hurt me.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. You and I came up to that conclusion. Yeah, like the lake wanted you, but she was like, "No, she's trying to get my story out there. Leave me alone."
Yeah, creepy, man, creepy. Whew. So I get like those. Your story though, holy cow! Like if anything could go wrong on a day, it did.
I think it's really creepy though that you were writing and filming a song about the lake that steals souls, and that was kind of your experience a little bit.
Yeah, it made me, think twice, if that makes sense. Like, wow. I was weary. I was really weary about the lake anyway when I started this project. And in fact, my producer's wife refused to come on site because she was afraid that we would awaken something from the lake. Because when we wrote Celtic Demon, there was some really weird things happening during that production and really odd things haunting her, so she distanced herself from Took Too Soon. Yeah. Whoops. So yeah. Tell us some stories about concerts, festivals that you've done.
Oh wow. Let's see. We've been fortunate to do a lot of really cool things, and I want to continue to do cool things. I think one of the coolest ones that we did was we headlined the Renaissance Fair in 2017, which was really fun.
Oh.
And
wow,
it was cool because we didn't have to explain ourselves to anyone because that crowd, like, they get it.
Yeah, you just blend in. You know? You're people.
Yeah,
they were people. And then Seattle Hempfest was really cool too, and I was manning the merch booth because that's what I do before shows. And this like really wasted person comes up to me and he's like, "Is this like the music that you sacrifice chickens to?" And I'm like, maybe.
No, we say okay.
Maybe. That's freaking great.
I'm like, I don't know. You could do a lot of things to our music. Like you could.
Yeah.
We prefer virgins, but I guess virgins are all right too. Knock yourself out. I don't know. That's weird. That's weird.
I think my favorite show though was when we opened for Corpa Kalani and Arcona, because those are 2 of the biggest bands in our genre, and it's really cool to get a call from a venue like, "Hey, we know you're a folk metal band. Do you want to open?" I'm like, "Oh my God." So I'm like, yes, we're doing this. And then the hurdy-gurdy player had already decided to leave at that point. And so I was like, this is like a huge show. We've been wanting to do this. Can you please? Like, so he's like, "No, okay, I'll play this." And then he had left and eventually moved out of state. But my favorite moment of that was Yone, who's the lead singer for Corpa Kalani. He's in the audience and he's just standing there and he's smiling. They're all like farmers in Corpa Kalani. They all like live in rural areas and they're all very folky, and like 80% of their songs are about alcohol. They have a song called Jägermeister. You should look that up.
Yes, I'm doing it.
Jägermeister, Jägermeister, da na 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 na.
That's my song.
And I'm doing like the sound check, and then we're into our first song, and like he makes eye contact with me, and I get the nod, and he smiles, and he goes, and I'm like, that's it, like that's awesome. And it's really cool because every once in a while they'll like our posts on Instagram, and I'm like, so that's what I like, that like the whole social media thing where you can interact with your idols or like the bands that you want to tour with or hang out with. So yeah, those were I think my 3 favorite shows.
That sounds awesome. We had a question from the chat room over here. I'll pop it up here. What venues were your favorite to perform in?
Ooh. So, well, I guess I would have to say like 10 years ago in Tacoma, it was Hell's Kitchen. And Sirens Rain.
Oh my gosh, yes. I completely forgot about Hell's Kitchen.
I was in a band called Hide the Scars, and that was really cool. Yeah. That was really rad. It was like a thrash metal band, and so I really liked that. I think another thing too is like we kind of perform in like weird places. Not weird places, but like maybe venues that aren't venues. So we play, this event called Metal on Metal, which is organized by the Armored Combat League, and Rich Hurst, who's the singer of Jesus Wears Armani. He's a night fighter, and he was on the History Channel show Night Fight, and they wear these like 80-pound suits of real armor, and they have real weapons, and they're But that's another, I'd have to say, like, we've been able to play that event twice. Once was at the Snohomish Soccer Dome, and then once was at a fighting gym in Seattle. And so we're playing music, and people are, like, in armor, beating the crap out of each other. And it's so cool. Like, we get to do that. Like, a lot of bands don't get to do stuff like that. But
I want to do stuff like that. That sounds so much fun. Hey, guys, you guys want to go jousting? Let's do it, bro.
That's what we do on Thursday.
Right? Oh, man.
So before the quarantine hit, we were about to go in to record our full-length album, and we had actually just met with Sky because we're doing a video, and we're gonna have nights in it. I can't talk too much about it, but we're gonna have nights in that video.
Oh my god!
Oh my god,
dude!
Yeah.
I wish I had it so cool. I wish I had a suit of armor.
Whenever that happens, I don't know when.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh my gosh. You know, going back to when you guys started in 2014, I'm so excited that you found that on Craigslist so that you could help your partner be inspired again to keep going, because we ran into that back in, was it 2018? 17,
I think.
17 or 18, I don't remember now, but like maybe it was
18.
I don't remember. Anyway, not too long ago, we decided to hang it all up. My husband and I are a power duo, and we were just done because it wasn't going anywhere. And a friend of ours, he's a friend now, but a fan of ours through Reverb Nation found us and invited us out for coffee because he lives about an hour away from us. He came into our town and met up with us to tell us, you know, he was one of our biggest fans. He wanted to help us get into the Seattle scene. And we were like, dude, we stopped playing like 4 months ago. Sorry. And he's like, please just do one show with me. And we did. And we just kept going. And then we were going to open for you, you know, like, wow. And we'll do it. We will do that someday. When all of this is, you know, well, maybe not normal, but open.
Dude, it's been so long, I don't even know what normal is anymore. Like, my normal now is when I pull up to the store, I open up my glove compartment, grab my little masky poo.
Yeah.
Sure that's on. And as soon as I do that, you know, my nose just starts itching and itching and itching.
And you're like, I want to sit.
And you're trying to talk to, I'm trying to talk to Anthony. And I said, he's like, what? And I'm like, what? And it's so hard to communicate. Like,
and then all the people who aren't wearing masks are looking at you like you're insane. And I'm thinking, like, I'm wearing this mask because I care about your life.
Exactly. Like, I'm doing this to save your life. You don't know if I have corona. Like maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't even know.
Yeah, I could be carrying and I don't know, and I don't want to give it to somebody, and I don't want to.
Exactly.
I don't want to get it from somebody either.
And I don't. Yeah, and I don't want exactly like.
Well, and Reena, you got a new mask. Your auntie made you, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. My grandma makes mine, so I have a couple from my grandma.
I'm waiting for my penis mask to come in. So I found this. I don't know if you saw this on Facebook, but the Utah Harm Reduction Coalition. So harm reduction, like they have a needle exchange and they do things like methadone and Suboxone, and they have drug treatment. And I teach addictions classes, and I've been a drug counselor before, so that's kind of really important. Like public health is important to me.
Yes.
So they were doing this. It was called cock block coronavirus, and they made all of these masks with penises, and I got one that had flying penises on it. But they made over $100,000.
Wow.
And we were backlogged because they didn't think it would go viral. So we had over 5,000 masks sell. So I'm waiting for my penis mask to come in. But
oh my gosh, you're the second person to tell me that this week, actually. Someone else told me that yesterday, and I was like, right on, penis mask.
It's not totally crude, because if you look at ancient Roman history, and if you look at like all the artwork, there were all these penises with wings because it was a talisman to ward off the evil eye and to ward off disease. So I'm just being ancient Roman, man. I've got my flying dick mask, and it's for a really good cause. I'm waiting for it to
Yay
come.
for flying penises.
Ladies and gentlemen, our history lesson for the week. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You are gonna totally have to send us a dick pic, bro.
I will. I actually have 2 penis tattoos on my body.
Really?
I do.
How many tattoos do you have?
Oh boy. I count and then I forget, because most of them are really big pieces. So
yeah, I understand. When students ask me, I think it's 26-ish. So I'm sure I don't have as many as you.
I think 9 or 13, somewhere in there.
Oh, because yours are so large. Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my mom tattoo, because my mom collects those cameos.
That's so pretty. I love it.
But I've got a collie on my thigh, and she's got a penis in one hand and a guy's head in the other hand. And then I have this big tribal design on my hip that has like, it's like this tribal thing. It's got like hearts and a penis. And
I wish it was just a big tribal penis. That'd be super
it
awesome.
It is. And I got that because when I first moved to Seattle, I bought these prayer flags from this local artist.
Yeah.
And one of them was like this like ode to life. And it was like a big vagina with hearts in the middle and a penis in the middle. And so that's what I got tattooed on my hip, because I thought it was this awesome celebration of life. So I'm ending up with these dick tattoos.
Oh my goodness. Wow, I would have never guessed that, actually.
Oh my gosh. So our friend Kelly Ray, hi Kelly, he says, hey y'all, thought I may miss this tonight. Glad I didn't, except I came in with the flying dick combos and dick pics. Oh shit.
Right.
We warned you it was ladies' night, so
Kelly, you know how we roll.
Yep. Cheers, ladies.
Cheers. This has been one of the best shows ever.
I just want to talk everything about you, like tattoos, costume. Like, tell us a little bit about, like, you wear these awesome Celtic inspired costumes. You got a corset just recently in the past, couple months, I want to say?
Corset
I
too.
kind of developed a habit of buying. Okay, so it's their fault though, because they have weekly sales, and they're a local company. So I get my corsets from Orchard Corset, and they're from Wenatchee. So, and they're so awesome, and they're local, but they're like a worldwide company. They're really well known, and they make awesome corsets. So I keep buying corsets. But the thing about a corset, like a real one, is you have to season it. So you have to wear it every day for 2 weeks in increasing increments of time. So like for the first couple days, you wear it for 2 hours, and then 3 hours, all the way up to 6 hours, because that way it melds to your body, and then you're breaking in the steel bones, and you're not hurting yourself. And then you're also making sure that the corset isn't damaged. So I kind of have a backlog right now because I bought a few and I need to season them all.
Oh, that's kind of fun though.
It is fun. And I guess maybe that's a pro of being in lockdown kind of, because I don't wear them to work. Like I could like, stealth it and wear them underneath, but it's hard to drive in those things and it's hard to eat.
Oh yeah.
But it's hard to sit in them, like sitting, singing, drumming. Yeah. I can't drum in one. I'll wear it in a music video, but I'm not drumming in it. Screw that. Yeah. And it pushes everything up. So it's like, I'm trying to drum. It's a little awkward.
I have a fake one. I have that has like the plastic bones in it, but still, I mean, when you go to sit down, like it does push everything up, and you're just like, my heart isn't right.
I break plastic ones. I like break them, and then they'll kind of fit weird. So
yeah.
The ones with the steel are much more, I don't know, durable. They're more durable.
They are. And they're actually not too much more expensive than the plastic ones.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was impressed by that. I didn't believe that. And where I bought my last one, it was in a steampunk place in Port Townsend, and they did a fitting for me. The owner, she does fittings for your corset, and I just so appreciated that because it's kind of hard to do it yourself.
Yeah, dude, next time I come out and hang out, we got to go to that steampunk.
Oh, yes, we do. We have some shopping to do when this is all.
Yes. I am going to the Peninsula for a break from my break.
Yeah, right?
Oh my God. What is the first thing that you guys want to do when we can do whatever we want?
Oh man!
I want to hang out with Maxine.
Aww, I want to hang out with you too, like face to face, because I'm in Squim and she's in.
I'm in Lake Stevens. And where are you?
Yeah, where are you?
Lakewood.
Okay.
Yeah. So kind of close, kind of not. We're all about the same distance away from each other, I think. Yeah. We are a triangle.
Yes.
Look out. What's the first thing you want to do?
I kind of want to go to the Naked Lady Spa.
Oh my God, yes. That always sounds fun.
There's one in Port Townsend out here that I have a friend that goes to.
It's so awesome because there's one in Lakewood, and it's like $35 for the whole day, and you can be there for 10 hours if you want. And then because you use all their pools and their sand rooms, and then they have food there too, and you can buy coffee. And it's really awesome because I like it when people bring their 13-year-old daughters there, and then there's people all the way up until their 80s, and every shape is
we're just a bunch of naked ladies just hanging out, having food.
And it's awesome. It's chill and it's body positive, and
that's what I love. Girls, we don't freak out so much about that. Guys are totally just weird. Oh my God,
I'm a little.
Oh my God, boobies. Oh my God, boobies.
Like that, but I think it's because of where I'm from. So I'm originally from North Dakota. So I don't know. I'm a little don't look at me.
I'm totally gonna take you to a naked lady spot.
I don't know. It's.
But here's the thing: it's about being a woman supporting each other, no matter what we look like. We all have flaws. Ain't none of us perfect. Not one of us is perfect. We have scars. We have stretch marks. We have moles in weird places.
Yeah.
I have a muffin top. I am proud of that muffin top because I earned it.
Aww.
And it's just a place where women can just be women and not be judged, no matter what we look like.
That you said, you love when you see the younger girls there because that is teaching body positivity, and I could use that then. That's probably why I feel like this still is that, I didn't learn that at an early age, so I'm kind of
I have to thank my grandma Savakis for that, because growing up in Colorado in the mountains, we had a hot tub because my grandma had MS. So
Oh,
she liked to soak in a hot tub.
yeah.
But in the wintertime, it gets a little hot. So you just step out and just fall into a big snowbank. But the rule was no clothes in the hot tub. None.
Huh.
So like, I saw my aunts and uncles and moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas just naked.
So it was just culture for you.
Yeah. It's just like, okay. And, I don't know.
Well, I've noticed that
Family's just weird.
Washington, that the culture is a little more fluid in that. And I think it's a great thing for kids to learn to be, more body positive and raise that self-esteem, because
We have to stop shaming each other for
oh my gosh, there's so much
that is
shame.
out of our control.
There is a lot of shame. Yeah. Yeah. It's true. Oh my gosh. So I think the first thing
This
I want
is what Kelly says. He says every woman's imperfection makes them their own perfection.
I like Kelly.
Dude, I love that.
Thank you. Yeah. I think that's humans, not just women. I think that's everybody. I think guys also have body image issues and self-esteem issues. And, they don't talk about it as much as we do. And I think of you in that too, guys. Like, cheers to you, because you deserve that as well.
Yes. Cheers.
So yeah, I'm so excited also to have all ladies tonight, because we are part of a movement to raise women up instead of, put them down. And this conversation kind of goes with that. And I just want to shout out to you ladies, Reena, Crash, I love you guys.
I love you, ladies.
You're amazing. And I'm glad that we found each other. And I'm glad that we can help other women, be comfortable with themselves, and also, be part of this sisterhood to help others.
Yes.
Yeah.
We gotta stop bringing each other down.
Like with the music too, and I don't know if it's like genre specific, but I feel like in rock and metal, we're all sisters, and we're all like, no one's like super competitive or mean or jealous or catty, or like there's no room for that, and
we're cheerleaders. We're like, you rock.
It's hard enough. It's hard enough, like proving I point to the guys, because well, you guys play drums pretty good for a girl. Yeah, well, you play drums pretty good for a guy.
10 years ago, I had this asshole promoter guy. He's like, I was in between bands, and he's like, nobody wants a female metal singer. You should just shut up and go home.
Oh.
There weren't a lot of growlers back then, and there's a lot more of us now, and there's no like competitive stuff. It's like, oh, do you have recommendations on doing this, or like, how do you learn how to growl, or how do you do that? And so it's really refreshing and nice. I feel like, I don't know, like when you're in middle school or high school, there's just all this competition and jealousy, and it's not, there's really no place for it. And that's a social construct, and it doesn't need to be there. Like you could, teach people how to be nice to each other and supportive. Like you doing well doesn't mean that there's less success for me. I think that's a really
exactly. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And I love that I found that out, because I was hesitant to enter the scene because I thought it was going to be like a dog eat dog thing. And I've made so many friends out of this, and so many connections, and it's family, like it is a sisterhood. Yes. We got each other's backs, man. Like it's beautiful. Oh my gosh. So Jeffrey says, I thought this was a yoga channel. LOL.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Maybe.
Hi, Jeffrey. Oh my gosh, I feel like it's been so long since I've seen him online.
I know.
I feel like it's been so long since I've seen him in person.
Yeah. It's been a while. It's been since January for me.
I miss my friends.
Yeah, I miss them too. Oh my gosh. So yeah, normally Reena does her yoga on Wednesdays, so we stole her away for our talk show. Sorry, everybody.
I felt bad because for the last 2 weeks I've been uncontrollably ill, and like the nice thing about yoga is like your best friend who, if you don't see them, you can just pick up back where you left off, which is just a really nice thing. And there's been times where I haven't been able to for this isn't the first time that I'm not like disabled, but like taken down, by various things. And so I had a really debilitating neck injury when I was 18 and I couldn't do anything. I actually lost my voice. I couldn't sing for like 3 years. I had to learn how to sing over again. And I was supposed to be a music major in college. And a week before I went into college, I was in a car accident and I herniated my neck and I couldn't sing. I was supposed to be like a double major and I was going to be in bands in college and I had all this stuff lined up. I couldn't sing for 4 years. And it was like a dancer having their leg cut off. It was absolutely
God.
So I'm not a stranger to my body hates me and I can't do what I want to do. But I just don't like letting people down. So I love that so many people are tuning into yoga. I hate being unreliable and my disease makes me unreliable. But people have been really cool about it. So I'm hoping Sunday I'll be able to do yoga again because I'm not throwing up uncontrollably.
Yay for not throwing up uncontrollably. But boo for Lyme disease and the things that it does to you.
It is Lyme Disease Awareness Month. May is Lyme disease.
Wow.
Oh, well, yay.
Wow,
Yes,
I'm glad we're featuring you. And I've learned so much about Lyme disease from you, and my heart goes out to you. I'm always trying to send you healing vibes, like always. I'm thinking of you. When the moon is full, I'm sad a little, like not even a little, I'm a lot sad. I'm thinking of you, like I'm like, oh, she's hurting.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that when the moon is full, it really brings the Lyme out to the surface. So I don't, because it wasn't until you had mentioned something about it that I was like, oh, you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And the moon has been really weird lately.
All the super moons and like the fibromyalgia people and like other people with chronic illness, they'll say the same thing too.
Yes.
With the moon and with Lyme, they haven't quite pinpointed it yet, but one of the ideas is like maybe the breeding cycle of the Lyme disease is secular, but
lunar.
Yeah, we kind of get knocked down between like the full moon and the new moon. Yeah, the new moon and the full moon is kind of when things get all crazy. And so, I go outside and like middle finger the moon. It doesn't do anything.
Oh, goodness. Oh, God. Well, and when did you find out you had Lyme?
Last year. But I've had it for 7 years. So I've had it for 8 years.
And you were like, what's wrong with me? We can't figure it out. And then all of a sudden the diagnosis was Lyme disease. Wow.
And it's called the Great Imitator because there's over 300 different symptoms for Lyme. And it can take, I thought I had a thyroid problem because I couldn't lose weight. And I had all these hives. Like I thought I had Hashimoto's because I had all of the symptoms of it.
Yeah.
And so then it gets really frustrating when like you're covered in hives, you're completely miserable. You can't I went from deadlifting 120 pounds to not being able to lift 20 pounds in 2 months. Like I was weightlifting with my weightlifting partner. We were really getting into the gym and we were looking super awesome. And then we were at the same level. And I look at her and I'm like, something's not right. And then I lost all of my strength. So it's really hard and it's really frustrating when like you're, there's obviously something wrong with you and they're like, all of your tests are normal. You're fine. I'm like, I'm not fine. If you tell me something's wrong with me, I'm cool. Like if you're telling me I'm dying, I will deal with that because it's information. If you tell me that I'm fine, I'm clearly not fine.
Yeah, I hate it when they come back and it's like, well, it's just an idiopathic thing. So you're telling me that you're the idiot who can't find out what is wrong with you? Is that what you're telling me? So
yeah.
Oh, so, and that's how I've always felt like when I was going to medical school and I learned that idiopathic meant like, well, obviously something is going on, but we can't find a cause or rhyme or reason for it. And I'm like, oh, so it's just an idiot who can't figure it out. So,
I like that. I've never heard that before. I like that.
That's how I figured. That's how I associate words with word roots sometimes, and idiot. So
you
just
went to med
idiot.
I feel like I have so much to learn about both of you.
Oh, thank you.
And
that's why we're hanging out tonight.
Idiopathic. I'm going to use that. I like that.
We would, how often you guys aren't? Sirens Rain is unable to get together at all. Is that
For
correct?
practice.
So we've tried a bunch of different things. Like we've tried Discord as a platform. We've tried Zoom, but there's too much lag and like stuff with the guitars. We tried Jam Kazam, which is supposed to be for musicians, but it was super laggy. We have to try Google Hangouts, but so what we've all been kind of doing is just like working on our own stuff. Like I'm taking harp lessons and so what we've Ed's playing the nickel harpa and our drummer is like watching videos and trying different things. And so like we all kind of been like writing riffs and sending it to each other via Dropbox or Drive. But it's hard with our writing process because we vibe so well off of each other that it's just like it doesn't feel complete. Like, and I think we don't want that to really influence our writing process because we don't want that to come out on the album to have this like flat one-dimensional thing. So we're getting ideas off of each other, but it's just really hard. And I don't know how other bands are handling it. So we're just kind of turning in, and we still talk and hang out like this. But we've been trying to do other things like I've got album art that's being worked on. We were in a couple magazines. We're going to be in another magazine that's coming out in a month or so from Romania. We were in a Portuguese magazine. So I've been trying to do that and then like make our strategy plan because our new album and our new sound is completely different and it's very heavy. It's very hard. There's more screaming. There's more like gang vocals. There's more drums. It's less like the folky. It's definitely still folk metal, but it's like, I guess I would say it's stormy. And that's kind of hard to do over the computer. Like I know people do it and I know people have YouTube channels and they do that and they make their own music and stuff, but part of what we do is we just, I don't know. I don't know how other bands are doing it. I'd like to know. I don't know.
Well, depending on how long the shutdown is, it might be worth it to look at Jamlink. So I wrote an album with my friend in North Dakota back in 2016 using Jamlink. And it's a device that you hook up to your computer and your monitor. And what else, babe? What does Jamlink run out of?
Takes the delay out of it.
Takes the delay. It takes the delay out of connecting online. And that's a lot of different
so no lag.
We had to go through, 2,200 miles, which is amazing. Sometimes it would work depending on the weather changes. It might not connect right for a night, but we would be able to, stream using this Jamlink to write music with our friend at a distance. So there's other programs out there like it too. They're $250 a unit. So that's a lot for each band member. There is online memberships that you can find through the Jamlink.
No,
my husband knows more about Jamlink. Sorry.
Cool. I'm writing all this down.
Come tell us more about come.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Here's Max, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
There's other companies that you can like subscribe to, and it's like a monthly membership, and all it does is just take out the delay out of it to the point where your human ear can't really catch it, and it just feels like you're jamming in the room with each other.
What's the program?
You just Google it.
Google it. Okay.
There's all kinds of them out there.
It's similar to Jamlink.
Yeah,
okay.
Jamlink was one of the first that came out with the idea. It was developed in MIT.
Okay.
And then like people figured out a way that you didn't need a unit anymore, and then you can do it over line. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Informative.
Yeah.
Thank you, Max.
And now sponsor us, Jamlink.
Right.
It's a pretty cool device, and yeah, it's worth looking into, especially since they've modified it and there's different versions. So, depending on how long this shutdown is, to get bands writing and interacting and playing together, it's really important.
That's awesome. Thank you. We've tried things, and so I'm going to try that. Hopefully that'll be really cool because I know people are doing it. So the other thing I want to figure out how to like video edit and do that type of thing, like with GoPros and stuff or whatever, so we can do our own music videos. Maybe not so much like a lot of bands do covers.
Mm-hmm.
Folk metal bands don't really do that. I mean,
Right.
I don't think that's what we really want to do. We want to do more like original stuff, or just, do the YouTube thing, but do it our way, and maybe
Cool.
not do covers. Covers are cool. We do them sporadically.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we prefer our originals too. But every once in a while we'll sprinkle here's a cover. Like we did Cranberries Zombie when we played O'Malley's Pub for St. Patty's weekend last year, because they're an Irish band. So, and we were honoring, that Cranberries singer had passed away it was just a few months before that. So we honored her and we threw down that song and people loved it. But we normally don't do that because we prefer our originals. And then it gets sticky playing other covers sometimes too. You can get, I don't know, some venues aren't allowed that. There's that, what is it? It's a regulation that prevents some venues from being able to allow bands to play covers in the state of Washington. So
That's so crazy.
I know. Yeah. And there was a venue out here that got in trouble for it too. Like someone actually came out from the state and tried to shut down a bar because their band that night was playing covers.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, because we're like, we're in the middle of nowhere. Who will know? And then it's like, oh, crap. They know.
It doesn't seem like a good use of state resources.
Right? Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if they do that still. That was right after all of that was initiated a few years ago. And I haven't heard of it since. But a lot of venues have also been closing or not having bands anymore. So even before all this.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And that leads me to, your question about what do I want to do first when I'm, released from quarantine. And that would be to play a show, see my friends, see Crash, see my family, but also camp. God, I want to camp. I love camping. So
I know.
Yeah. Being cooped up in the house, man, is, it's nice for 2 weeks, but for 8, it's not so nice. We get out and we walk, it's gorgeous out here. We have trails, but for a while the trails were closed. So yeah. You live kind of out in the country yourself, right? Do you have chickens? I can't remember.
So we have we've got like 3/4 of an acre, but within the city. So it's kind of like an oasis kind of, but like unfortunately, remember they had like the big golf tournament in like 2015 or 16?
Yeah.
Out here at Chambers Bay. Well, prior to that, our road was super nice and quiet. And now it's become a main road, which is not cool. But we have lots of trees, and we have ducks, and we have chickens. Like ideally, my dad called me today. He's like, "We need to buy you a farm." I'm like, "Yes."
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Please, if you want to buy me a farm,
happen.
Please do that. So at some point that would be like the goal, I guess. But we try to do as much urban homesteading as possible. Like we have, like in terms of like a compound or an apocalypse, we have our own well, we have a generator, we have a wood stove that you can bake bread in, we have greenhouses, we have ducks and chickens. So, like people are like, well, do I get a bug out bad? What do I do? I'm like, well, I'll just defend my house because we can hang out here and, bake bread. And that's what I've been doing during quarantine.
Yeah, you sound super self-sufficient. Like you were prepared for all of this.
And that's kind of how we live. Like we usually go grocery shopping for like 6 weeks at a time, and we have freezers and we do canning and stuff. And so we're kind of as off grid as you can be.
That's cool.
In the city.
Yeah. That's so amazing. Wow.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I planted my garden like 2 weeks ago. And I have some lettuce growing and carrots and green beans and this and that. So I have some stuff growing. I just don't have any source of meat. But I feel like there's enough deer out here that if anything was to really like go down, like I'll just wait for them to be in my yard and take one out. Like,
yeah, I hear you. Like if we had to go into survival mode, like apocalyptic time, like I'm a
hunter. I know how to hunt. Like I've killed deer before and ate them, and did what I had to do.
I got you. I'm from North Dakota. It's how
Get through the winter. Yeah, I mean,
Yep, I did that with my family too.
So yeah.
And we did the chicken butchering annually at Grammys, you know. Everybody got chickens for their freezer.
Yes.
And the Thanksgiving turkey.
Mhm.
Right?
So yeah, country girl. Yeah, I used to have chickens. I haven't had chickens in a few years, so I miss having my chickens. I really want some now. And I
Chickens
just
are
love getting
so
them as
smart.
chicks and then raising them and having them as layers and having your fresh eggs.
I had them from eggs and incubated the eggs
Wow.
in the incubator,
Oh,
and then I raised egg chicken, egg chickens or chickens from chickens who lay eggs, and then meat chicken, which those ones you don't name, your only interaction with them is you feed them and you water them because you don't want to get attached to them because
right, you don't want to butcher Ginger, you know.
like I don't want to be like, okay, Jim, come here, let's get you ready for dinner. So like,
I hear you. Yeah, I have my best friend is half Filipino, so when she went to the Philippines for the first time when I think she was 11. She can correct me later. I'm sure she's watching, but she was like 11 or 12, and she befriended the pig all summer. She hung out with the pig, and then at the end of summer, they had this big feast to like see her and her family off, and they ate her friend, the pig. So she just remembers, crying, eating the pork.
So when I was living in Hawaii, this is such a weird. So when I was living in Hawaii, my dad worked for the Navy. He was a civilian police officer for the Navy. And where his base was, the base that he worked at, it was surrounded by a bunch of farmers. Well, pigs are big over in Hawaii. So one day they found a couple of the pigs on military property. And the farmer was really embarrassed at the fact that, some of his pigs had gotten on military property, and the military could have confiscated every single one of those pigs, but they didn't. They let most of them go, but they were like, oh, but can we have this one? And he was like, yes, please take it. This is my, thank you for not killing all my pigs, but also I'm so sorry that this had happened in the first place.
Yeah. And
her name was Susie, and they raised her and raised her and raised her and raised her. And she was the sweetest pig ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then when I was coming back to the mainland, like you said, that,
yeah,
they had sacrificed Susie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I've had two close friends have to go through this with pigs. I'm sorry.
Like I had to, yeah. And my dad, wanted to, if I ever got in trouble, I had to go to the base with him and take care of Susie.
Oh.
Which was fine because I liked her, but I didn't know I was going to be eating her.
Yeah.
My stay there.
Oh, Susie.
She
you
was
gotta write a song for Susie.
She was delicious. To Susie. You delicious beast, you.
Susie.
So I ask every band, every what's your favorite way of listening to music? If you can listen to it anyway, is it streaming? Is it vinyl? Is it CD? Is it 8-track? What's your choice?
I'm kind of cheap, and I also kind of want to not be a minimalist, but not have a lot of stuff that I have to dust and take care of. So I listen to most of stuff on YouTube, or iHeartRadio. So I really like iHeartRadio a lot because they have really good ghost stories, and that's where that's where I get a lot of my inspirations for lyrics. Is I read ghost stories or I listen to ghost stories, and then I turn them into songs. And so and I guess I'm a visual person too, so I really like music videos, but then I also like seeing the lyrics, and then I listen to things over and over and over again to get inside the song.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I would say digitally, probably for space reasons, and also it's easier to, like hit repeat or whatever, or just like, so yeah.
And you can pretty much find any song on the planet. If it's ever been recorded, it's more than likely going to be on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is nice.
Yeah, YouTube's amazing. And shout out to them because we do stream on YouTube and Facebook through
YouTube.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark Zuckerberg, for making Facebook live for us to stream cool shit.
Heck yeah. And on Friday, we celebrate our year anniversary with a special Musicians Hangout anniversary party. So any viewers, if you are free Friday night, which most of us are, you can come in with us and celebrate our anniversary with us. We're going to have so much fun. We're going to have a super special announcement. We are going to have
I feel like
trivia with prizes. We are going to have a gift giving. So Crash and I have gotten gifts for each other. We've sent them to each other, and we are waiting to open them on screen in front of everyone that night. And
it's killing me.
That's awesome.
Me too. I'm like, it's right there. And both of our bands, Fatal Butterfly and the Maxwells, will be performing for the night.
Yes.
So you don't want to miss out, guys. It's going to be a super fun night. And we're going to launch that at, is it 7 or 6? I forget. 6?
I think we decided on 6, but I mean.
Yeah, we did go with 6 because that was our Corona concert time. So we're going to keep it just like our Corona concert time series, time slot, and have it 6 p.m. That's right. And I have a super, super exciting announcement to make that Crash doesn't even know. The Maxwells will be releasing a new single that night.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Woohoo! So tune in, everybody. We're going to have a really, really fun, awesome night for you. It's
this week. I've been looking forward to this whole week. I've been looking forward to hanging out with Reena for months now, actually.
Yeah.
And I tell you, like, the past few weeks, I've been like looking at your Facebook, just going, man, I hope she really feels okay. Like, I hope she feels okay. Like, because Lyme disease is just so unpredictable. Such a horrible thing to have.
Yeah. So we are very, very thankful and feel very honored to have you part of it.
Yeah. And you were just such a big presence to us. Like, like, we feel honored that you were on our show.
Thank you.
Because you were just so amazing, and your band is so incredible.
Thank you.
The things that you do, I mean, geez, you are a professor.
Yes.
Which comes with a PhD, so you're a doctor.
Yes.
You're a kick-ass heavy metal folk vocalist / instrumental. And you're just super amazing.
Thank you.
Super amazing.
That makes me feel
Very
good.
Inspirational.
Thank you. I think we all go through imposter syndrome, and I definitely go through that too. Like, you downplay yourself, or like, all that crap that goes on in your head. So it's really nice, like, when somebody gives you an affirmation like that. 'Cause I'm like, no, I am awesome. Other people think I'm awesome.
Yes. You're like, oh yeah, well, you know what? Crash and Maxine think I'm super awesome, so I don't really care what you say.
So you are.
Thank you.
If you don't like it, you can talk to them about it. They'll straighten you out.
I think we're talking about sisterhood and being there for your girls and stuff. And you do need those pep talks sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially now with this COVID-19 stuff, we're all stuck at home.
Like weeks.
Same faces, like 24/7. I love my brother, but sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I just need 10 minutes to myself.
Yeah.
Without anybody. No sound, no nothing. Just like 10 minutes by myself. And I love, love, love my boyfriend. He's the most amazing man on this planet. But we all just need a little break.
Yeah. You need a little time away from each other to appreciate each other too, even if it's on the other side of the house or somebody's outside. Like, I don't know, like we do need to give each other our space because we're human. We need that. And I wanted to say, like, week 3 of quarantine was hard for a lot of people. It was hard for me. And then I went online and I saw a lot of my girlfriends in the music scene also kind of, you know, feeling that heaviness. And I'm glad we all came out of that. But we go back and forth. But I remember that week particularly, a lot of people just feeling heavy and beaten, like just like, wow,
It's kind of like a jail sentence.
better. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're given a date. Okay, you're going to be released on this date, May 4th. You're going to be released, and then like that date comes, and then it's like, oh, sorry, the parole board says that you're still not that rad, so you gotta like hang out a little bit more. You know, you just build yourself up for like this release time, and then like here comes James Inslee. Well, maybe we should all just like hang out a little longer. I mean, what's it hurting?
Maybe Inslee wants to hang out with us, though.
I don't know. I would probably wreck that guy.
That's the line.
Like I would wreck that guy. Like I would just be like, okay, bro, we gotta talk about some shit, cause
What we've been quarantined.
Phase 2 now. Get us to phase 2.
I feel like, you know, like for weeks he was like not giving dates and numbers. I just feel like he's like this dad that is super disappointed in people because like remember he's like, I don't want to
I'm disappointed in you.
He's got this like dad vibe thing, right? And like, don't make me do this. I will do this. But he's gonna be a little bit more like, oh, I'm gonna make a decision. But what week are we on? You had mentioned that was week 3.
We are in week 8, almost 9.
It's almost 9, yeah.
I'm in a time warp. I have no I don't even know.
Reena, I was going to ask you, how did you find out? You might have said this during your story about how you guys went online, like right after your spring break. But how did you guys find out that you were closing down the school for X amount of weeks? Because it was probably 6. It was 6 for us, and now it's been shut down. So how did you find out?
Email? Well, so my
World Wide Web.
Yeah. The senior leadership, they're really awesome people. And because I work at a Catholic school, we have these, not just Catholic, it's Benedictine. So there's different sects of Catholicism, and each of them have their own things, like Jesuits and Dominicans, you know, they're known for education. I grew up around friars. They're known for wine, or, you know, St. Francis, animals, right? So the Benedictines are really interesting because you don't have to be Catholic to be Benedictine, because at the time where the church is split off, there are actually Anglicans and Church of England and Buddhists and people that follow the Benedictine values. So you don't actually have to be Catholic to be a follower of St. Benedict. It's a way of life. And there's 11 different principles. And our main principles are faith, service, community, reason, and hope. And so my school really does embody those. And so like community, they teach us all the time. And so our senior leadership, every week we have a Zoom meeting where they tell us what's going on. And so there's been a lot of communication, but originally like they were very much kind of thinking about things before the governor pulled the trigger, because he was being wishy-washy for a little bit, and I understand why, but you know, when you're a university or a school system, you really can't.
Yeah, you need to know. Yeah, you need to plan. Yeah.
So originally we're like, okay, after spring break, you know, we're going to be for like 2 weeks. So we went in like increments of 2 weeks and then 4 weeks, and like, nope, everything's online. So that's kind of how we did it.
That's awesome. We found out via email, but I was in the middle of teaching when it was sent out. And a student came up and told me, because she had gotten caught wind or something. And then I said, I haven't heard anything about that. And then on the announcements, like the speaker came on and said, you know, we were closing down for 6 weeks starting Monday, because we had the kids come back. It was a Friday. We found out we had everybody come back on Monday and get their paper packets and all the information that they needed for the next 6 weeks. And then when we found out we were shut down for the last, I think it was 8 more weeks after that 6 week mark, we launched how we would be teaching virtually, I guess. Like it took me 3 weeks to get my YouTube channel all polished and ready, and then I launched it around then. Because I sent out like an art assignment for students to do over the 6-week period. And I teach social emotional learning too. So I sent out mindfulness packets to complete. And then when we were shut down, I gathered those back and then started teaching online. So Reena, I put a link in our comments on, Max sent it to me on that information about the collaboration jam.
Oh,
link.
awesome.
So,
This is that. So go ahead and steal it. I don't know how you can
very
steal
long link, goodness.
it. Oh, I guess you can save. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Cool. I can message it to you too.
I got it. Thank you.
Yay, you're welcome.
Yay.
I'm in need of some pickle juice or a pickle.
He's awesome.
Very cool.
He's always kind of in the background listening in.
Dude, Max is amazing. He always
He's
like
our
if I
fan
can't
too.
figure out like some tech stuff, I'm just like, I don't know. And then Max always like saves the day. Oh, you gotta do this and that.
Yeah,
That's
but we
amazing.
were just saying earlier how it's been less and less because StreamYard is so user friendly. Like he hasn't really had to save us tech wise in a long
So,
time.
like I
That's
said earlier this week, I have nothing but amazing things to say about StreamYard.
Heck yeah.
Not only is their site like amazingly easy, like a 2-year-old could freaking run this site. Seriously.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Can totally literally run this site. But if you do have an issue, there's this little button that says having issues, and it directs you straight to a live person
Yeah, there is help.
who
around the
messages
corner
you
like
back
that.
within seconds.
Yeah, their customer service is amazing. They've helped us out. They helped us out our first concert series. You know,
Oh,
throughout
yeah.
the concert series they did. But like I totally appreciated that we basically had someone waiting for us, like on the side, just as
Hey,
tech.
I'm on call, just like, okay, how can I help you today?
Yeah. Yeah, that was
And
great.
I'm also part of their community, online StreamYard community on Facebook. And they are like, what are you streaming on StreamYard this week? And
Yeah,
they will
they help
promote your
promote.
stuff for
And then
you.
they warn us. They're like, hey, this week StreamYard's been having trouble on YouTube or trouble on Facebook.
Yes.
So we're working on these issues. We'll let you know an update. And that I just love knowing that, so we can expect if we have glitches or we can't connect. That
Geiga he's the owner operator of StreamYard. He is just amazing. I have nothing but good things to say about Geiga. Keep going, Geiga. You're doing such a good thing.
yes,
Just
and that's how we
need to
were
make
able to have
StreamYard more popular.
yeah, we're able to have this podcast because of StreamYard. So
Yeah, because Google Hangouts, and just to let you know, Reena, Google Hangouts is no longer doing the camera thing anymore.
Yeah,
That's why we
transfer
That's why
from
we had to move to StreamYard. But here's the thing. StreamYard is free. So, and it holds 6 cameras with 3 in the waiting room.
we can have more people. We could call more people in, and we have. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it is really cool. Yeah. I don't remember
what I
how
want to hear?
it stopped with the camera, but they lost out, man.
Yeah. So what do you have any cool stories about like crazy things that have happened at like shows and like or awesome things or
Yeah, story time.
Crazy and awesome. Crazy. Oh.
Either or bad, good, it doesn't matter. Like any shows that stand out above and beyond like some other ones, because like some shows are just like they go off flawlessly, like nothing remarkable's ever happened. But then sometimes like you have this crazy guy who's like jumping off stage into the crowd and like maybe misses and falls on the floor. I don't know.
So this wasn't in Sirens Rain. This was when I was in Hide the Scars, and it was like we were at Hell's Kitchen, and it was I think it was like my first or second show with them, and I had on this really awesome like gothic PVC wedding dress. It was like this latex, like black thing. And I have very big boobs. And you know where this is going. So like, it's the first song.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, the first song, and all my girlfriends are in the front row, and they start screaming at me. And then, like, I looked down, and I didn't realize it. I pulled it down. I made it worse. And fortunately, like, nobody was recording the first song, and I don't know why. I don't know why.
Wow, boobies.
But I totally had this, like, that I started using electrical tape.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
I had to learn the hard way, you know, like nobody tells you that until you're like, oh, honey, didn't you know about electrical tape? Why didn't you tell me before? So yeah, there's been wardrobe malfunction.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, goodness. So much to learn.
Yeah. Oh,
So much to endure to be, a woman in metal.
Right?
A woman in rock, a woman in music. Like, we all kind of have those little snafus.
So Rebecca wants to know if you have been anywhere haunted.
Oh, yeah. So I've always lived I'm from Connecticut, and it's a really old state. And so I think where there's old things, there's always residual energy. And I grew up in a haunted house, and I grew up across the street from this 4,000 acre game preserve that was absolutely totally haunted. And we had this pond. There was this pond, and the creepy thing is that I dreamed about this before I learned about the legend. So I was like in kindergarten. So we had our house, and then within walking distance, there was this pond. And we used to walk our dog there, and our parents, it was just like this nice kind of like little loop that we would do. And so when I was about 5 or 6, I had a dream that there was a witch in the pond, and that she exploded into green light, and that my school bus got swallowed up. Well, I dreamed about this before I actually learned that there was a legend about this. So in like the 1700s, there was this woman in town that was a witch. And she had ran to the church, and the legend is that she grabbed this like silver chalice, and she ran, and the settlers chased her with guns and stuff to this pond, and she jumped in the pond, and she raised the chalice above her head, and they shot her, and she exploded into green light, and they could never find the chalice, and you could see her reflection in the moon. And I dreamed that this happened before I actually knew about the legend. And there's been a lot of stuff like that, like my dad's side of the family. My dad's a medium, and he was a cop for like ever, and then he was a criminal justice professor, and now he's a medium.
Whoa, he's seen a lot.
Dude, that's awesome, because like I had mentioned earlier, my dad was also a police officer, and they see some crazy shit happen.
There's
Like,
this
they will never tell us everything that happens at work.
There's this really cool book on Kindle Unlimited, and it's all paranormal stories from cops and military people. And I'll get the name for you, but it's all like, and my dad has some really awesome stories about like, you know, things happening, or like the moon, you know, affecting people. Like people escaping asylums, or, you know, like he'd have to bring people to asylums, and then like people are like, I'm not really crazy, please take me out of here, please, I'm not crazy, I'm not supposed to be in the mental asylum, and stuff like that. But I've always been around that type of thing, and the house I live in now is haunted.
Oh yes,
Mine too.
I have a ghost too. Yeah, she's a nice ghost, but she's still a ghost. So you know, yeah, it's the best.
So we all live in haunted houses. That is really cool.
Yeah. Tell us about your ghost.
His name is George, and George is a farmer. And the cool thing is, so we live in a house that Will's mom was raised in, and Will's grandfather. The house was built in like 1945, but they had it for a really, really long time. Will's grandfather remembers seeing the ghost. So the ghost is not Will's grandfather, but the ghost has been around for a really long time. And he's got like old like 1930s, 40s clothes on. He's got like suspenders. And I've seen a ghost cat. There's a black cat ghost in the house too.
Huh.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a poltergeist in the garage, and like Will came in the house. He's like, "Get the stage. There's crazy stuff happening." Like, so we have like a big garage that has a second floor, and so he was in the greenhouse, and he turns around and he sees stuff from the second floor flying down the stairs outside, and it wasn't like, it couldn't have been a rat. It couldn't have been a raccoon, because it was stuff that was behind the Christmas decorations, like something threw it down the stairs. Ooh. And prior to that, there had been a couple of days where like we'd go into the garage and things would be knocked over. And we have a lot of woods, so there's rats and there's possums and raccoons.
Yeah.
But then it was like totally like, so he saged it and we burned some, some like powwow wood or whatever and got rid of it. But yeah, so that was the most recent paranormal thing that happened. There was a poltergeist in the garage.
Ooh. I'm glad you guys
have lights that turn off sometimes, and like things that just
creepy
get moved or disappear, or noises. I hear noises too. Like
the lights are fucked. That's
Anthony. We love you.
Just start like yelling all the F words in here.
Regulations, sir.
I know. No, I mean, yes, we do have a faulty thing, but that doesn't explain the footsteps that I hear down the hall when nobody else is home.
Yeah, right.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I hear somebody sniffing and nobody's home. Like,
69 fine.
Well, and when it's that energy, if it's an animal, when it's something else, yeah, you can feel it all over.
yeah, I could tell, like, if I feel something watching me sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I do feel like if I'm sleeping, like sometimes I'll just wake up and just like look around, like I could just feel somebody like staring at me.
Well, some people just have spirits with them. A lot of us do. So,
yeah.
You probably have some kind of guiding spirit or protective spirit, guardian spirit over you. You never know. That could be what's watching you.
It could be, but like the spirits at this house are not mean by any means. They're just trying to like let their presence be known.
And I wonder if that's happening more and more with people being if they're experiencing more of the paranormal because they're around. The ghost is going to make an appearance. It's going to make itself known because
with my Wi-Fi.
Just don't mess with the Wi-Fi.
Here's the link to the book. I don't know how to do the live chat thing, so I put it in the other chat. So if you want to pop that out, but it's
I will. Okay.
Cool.
You put it in the private chat.
I did. It's called Cops' True Stories of the Paranormal: Ghosts, UFOs, and Other Shivers.
Can we copy that and bring it over?
I am doing that right now.
You're awesome, sister. Thank you.
So one of my favorite stories from that book is super creepy. So this person was on patrol and they're at a stoplight. No, they're at a stop sign. And there is this house that's kind of next to them, like on the right-hand side. And they see somebody in the middle of the road. I'm getting goosebumps. They see somebody in the middle of the road. Thank you. I need a refill.
Good man.
So at the time, I'm gonna get this wrong, but like at the time, I guess there was like a woman in the house, and her boyfriend was like on drugs and had gotten out of jail and had been super paranoid about police. And he saw the police car, and he had like a gun with a scope, and he was about to shoot the cop that was at the stop sign, but the cop had seen somebody in the road and got out of the car to go check this thing out. Well, it was a ghost that he saw, and the ghost saved his life because this crazy person was going to shoot him because he was high and he thought that he was coming in to bust him, and he had no idea. So like stuff like that. This is a really, really good book.
Ooh, I have to read it.
Thank you for sharing that. I love books about hauntings. Oh my God. It's all I want to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, and historical fiction, hauntings are the best. Oh my gosh, I love that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not just the fiction, but also like the nonfiction. Like those are. I mean, Crash and I had an experience together. So
yes, we did.
tell us about that, Crash. Tell the story. Tell the story.
So my family is as we know, Maxine lives in Sequim. My ancestors were the first white people to actually come to Sequim and teach school. And my family, the Knopfs, married into the Lotzingles, which were another founding family. Well, they were school teachers, and Mrs. Lotzingle was one of the main school teachers at the Sequim school. So we went to go meet this guy at the school, and he was telling us all about these rooms and those rooms and how this place is very, very haunted. And we were on our way upstairs, and the stairs were completely clear. Nothing was there. And he was showing us these rooms, and then here's the bell and all sorts of stuff. And then we were...
Well, in the picture of your ancestor, that looked just...
Yeah, my great-great-great-grandmother was up in the corner, and it's really crazy how it's really remarkable how much we look.
I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. We really look a lot alike.
You do.
And
you can tell you're related. It was shocking.
It really was.
It was awesome. It was awesome and shocking.
And we started going downstairs that we had just went up, like maybe 5 minutes before. And there is a sponge. Yes. Mrs. Lotzingle.
Wow. You're the same face shape.
Yes.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. In fact,
we have the same nose too.
Our tour guide was pretty amazed by that.
Yeah. And so when we were coming down the stairs, we saw this sponge that was just laying on the stairs.
Yeah.
That weren't there 5 minutes before.
It was like all soapy, and he had just told us the kitchenette is not used. They can't do dishes.
Yeah, they can't use it right now.
Yeah.
And so we were like, oh, okay. And then as soon as we found it and we're starting to talk about it, like we just all got like cold shivers. Like I feel like it was Margaret telling me that I'm still here. I'm still teaching class. Like, yeah. You were, we are very present here.
Yeah. So, and I remember when that happened, we asked him more about the schoolhouse because we went for the historical tour, but we were like, so we've heard some things about this schoolhouse. Is it really haunted? And then he told us about a team that had come out, the
Red Ball
ghost hunters. Paranormal, that's right. The paranormal team came out and they ran some tests in the middle of the night, and he happened to be there. And one of his friends who had helped maintain the building that had passed 2 years ago, made his presence known twice. And he didn't believe, like this guy, Mike, was his name Mike?
I think so, yeah.
It was Mike had, no belief in ghosts before this. And like his flashlight turned on in his truck. He wasn't even in his truck, and his flashlight turned on, and he knew it was his friend telling him he was there.
Didn't you know that his friend too?
Yes, I knew Louis. So I knew Louis. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and then Crash had just told me we were driving to the Dungeness Schoolhouse because I had set up the tour out here. I was taking her out there, and she had just gotten done telling me the story about how her great-great-grandma.
Oh, yeah, this part. We would come over the Dungeness River to come and teach school to the native kids.
So they would row on a boat. Well, Mike was telling us that the ghost was talking about rowing on a river, and they couldn't figure out why the ghost was talking about a river when they were in a schoolhouse. And I was like, goosebumps all over. I was like, oh my God. Crash.
I know exactly. I was like, I know exactly. Like they lived on the other side that would have to like come over on a boat every day, a canoe every day to teach school to the native kids.
Yeah. So we had the missing piece to that story, and he made us go right to the museum to tell them. Like right after we left the schoolhouse, we went to the museum to introduce the staff to Crash.
Yeah. And they still have my great grandmother's mailbox from when she
yes,
like I got to see all that history, and I got to show them that like yes, the Knopfs married lots and golds, and like we're all intertwined, and it was crazy.
And she had stories and a book, and they had different books to show her too. It was so fascinating because I love history anyway, and also studying ancestry. So it was just so awesome to watch all of this unfold, like right in front of me in the town that I live in. You know, it's like wow.
It's so crazy, like knowing that I am actually part. Like my family was part of like the beginnings of Squim and Dungeness and Port Townsend and all those places. Like it's really crazy to know that like my family like really had a lot to do with, like they were the first settlers. And
yeah, it's so cool. Yeah,
I never thought I would be part of history.
We're all part of history somehow. Reena, you said you were
right.
It's
just weird being in like textbooks.
Yeah,
my family's in textbooks. That's weird.
That's cool.
Because I feel so just insignificant.
Oh, I got you.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we did this cool thing, but like, I'm doing this other cool thing now.
Reena, when did you come over from Connecticut?
Yes.
So I lived in Connecticut till I was 11, and then we moved to Western New York. And I actually just recently figured out, I don't know why I was doing this, but I was looking at maps of like Appalachia, and technically like the part of New York that I was in was part of Appalachia, but I didn't know that Appalachia goes like all the way from New York down south. But we lived in, so kind of weird, we lived in this town called Olean, and it's like an hour and a half south of Buffalo. I guess like it has a weird history. Like Timothy McVeigh lived there for a little bit, and it was on the Underground Railroad because a river went through it. So people would like float on the Allegheny River and then go into people's basements that they had dug out. And then like the KKK had been there for a long time before they moved to Idaho. So, and then there's like native tribes there too. So it was, and then there was a whole town of mediums called Lilydale, which was near Buffalo. Yeah. So if you look up Lilydale, like during the 30s and 40s, there was this spiritualist movement where a lot of people were psychic, and people would like go to these towns and basically create pop-up towns during the summer, and they'd have these mass psychic events. So Lilydale, New York. Lilydale, New York. So I lived in the Allegheny Mountain region, which is called the Enchanted Mountains, and the energy there is really interesting and super haunted. Like really, like the mob was there too. So where I lived was called Little Chicago because Al Capone had his summer house there because it was exactly halfway between Chicago and New York City. I went to school with they've transitioned now. Their name is Vito, but when I was in high school, their name was Jessica. Jessica Anastasia was Albert Anastasia's grandniece. Albert Anastasia was the right-hand man to Al Capone. He was the main hit guy. Whoa. So in this mafia town in the middle of New York, where all this, like, there had been racism, there had been the Underground Railroad, there had been bootlegging because it was super close to Canada. So I grew up in this, like, that's where I lived until I went to college. I went to college 3 hours east of there in Binghamton, which is kind of near Cornell. And then I moved out here in 2006. Really? But where I grew up, like, talking about paranormal stuff, it was the strangest place because, like, the mob was there.
Dude, it's the mob lived there. Yeah, I was just going to say, dude, I bet there's all sorts of crazy ghost stuff going on there.
So
where the hell is Al Capone? I want to hear about Al Capone's ghost.
Like, this is probably true, and my sister's friend will swear to God that this is true. So the the north end of Olean was the Italian section, and then there were, and it was, the whole town was kind of Catholic at one point. There was the Polish Catholics and the Irish Catholics and the Italian Catholics, and
Right.
the north end was where all the Italians lived on the other side of the tracks. My sister's friend swears that this is true. There was a vacant lot behind her house that nobody would build in because the rumor was that Al Capone had 2 guys assassinated in a pickup truck, and they buried the truck in the cement behind this person's house. And they had found a body chopped up in the woods as late as the 1970s.
Wow.
And yeah, and so and then there was this guy who basically owned the town. His name was Louis Mignano.
Mm.
They were Italian. And he would like mysteriously get stopped at the Canadian border, but nothing would happen. Like it was rumor that he was like a cocaine dealer and like he was like the last mob person kind of. But my sister's friend from high school will swear to God that there are dead people buried in the cement behind her house. And it's probably true.
But we don't know. They do have like those weird, crazy, they're like x-ray machines that can go through ground.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm talking about? Like I always see it on like Crime Watchers and shit like that.
Well, that's yeah.
Unsolved mysteries, and
Yeah.
I am a sucker for that stuff because I'm just like, ooh, who died and how can I solve it? You know, so
Yeah.
but they have these like x-ray machines that you just like roll over the ground and it can tell you like if there's some shady shit that you should probably dig this up, or it's just like, man, it's just some rat that died about 50 years. So yeah, I definitely want to do that. And it can go through concrete and whatnot.
Ooh.
So like maybe we should grab one of those from the FBI. But you would think that like with it being that popular, the FBI or the cops or somebody, some law enforcement agency would go out there and be like, oh, well, let's check this out.
Did you ever see the movies like Analyze This and Analyze That?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you know there's like a section, I don't remember, I think it's the first one where they're talking about like the meeting of all the mob bosses in this little town called Appalachian. Well, that's a real place, and that was like right where I went to college. I went to college at SUNY Binghamton, and it was just weird because you had the mob there, and then there was like the KKK there, and like all of these like really weird competing forces.
Yeah.
Plus, and it was all
I mean,
Native land.
that is really weird. Like you just have table for the mob, table for our KKK.
Western New York is
I mean,
an awesome place.
and like that's just weird. But I can totally see that. Like it's a hub for like different.
Yeah.
I don't know,
There's
horrible
like
meetings,
there's
I
weird
guess.
energy there. Like there's
Yeah,
super weird, like I don't know if like portal or but there's
yeah.
something there that attracts strange.
Oh, I really want to go ghost hunting there and do EPVs and shit.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
They probably have already done that. I bet you could look that up. I'm going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes ghosts won't talk to people unless they're
Mhm.
kind of super weird and creepy like them. And I feel like maybe we're the super weird, creepy kind of people that might like invite ghosts to talk to them. And ghosts might be in tune with that shit because we're more open-minded
That's
Yeah.
very true.
Agreed.
to
Yeah.
their existence, you know? A lot of people that go out there, they're just closed-minded, like just trying to like, you know, myth bust it or whatever.
You know, and speaking of all of this paranormal history, activity, stories, etc., I want to shout out to our friends.
Yes, I'm so glad that you and I are on the same page on that one.
So follow our friends on This Uncanny Earth because they have all sorts of obscure stories, including paranormal and, you know, other myths that surround different areas, different legends. Really cool show. We've been part of it. We shared our story from the Dungeon Schoolhouse on that show. In fact, I shared my story about Lake Crescent on that show too because I believe there was some kind of force there. I really do.
I absolutely believe that.
There's something in that lake. Yeah. It's creepy. It's got that energy too, just like that place you're speaking of. What was it again? Lilydale?
Lilydale, New York.
Lilydale. I already have it. I already have it on my phone. Like
I
right
have
now,
it
I'm
saved.
just like,
I
"Oh,
got
this
it
is
saved on my
crazy." Like I can't wait to like go to an Airbnb here. Like, how do I book a flight?
Have you heard of Starvation Heights?
No.
No,
Okay.
what is that?
I'm writing a song about it. So Starvation Heights is located in Olalla, Washington.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I know where Olala is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to work at rehab out at Olalla, and every once in a while we would have somebody coming in trying to find the old house. So this is a true story. There's books about it. This is absolutely incredibly awesome. So my friend Gina's on. Gina knows about Starvation Heights. So
Yeah.
I was just gonna say hi. She says hello, everyone.
Ew.
in the late 1800s, early 1900s, there was a woman named Dr. Linda Hazard. Doctor. And she claimed to be a physician, but she really wasn't. And what she did was she had this weight loss clinic for very wealthy people. It was called a sanatorium, which was kind of the model at the time. And what she would do is she would have people come from England, very wealthy people, heiresses, etc., for this weight loss cure where she would make them walk out in the country and eat like broth soups, like tomato soups, but really no more than like 400 calories a day. But what she would do is she would have them sign over their inheritances and their insurance policies to her. And then she would starve them to death. But she was also the coroner. So she got away with it forever.
Oh my god! So she could just like fake their shit because like,
Yeah.
you're gonna bring it too.
Right.
Oh man, that's
So-
super shitty.
So there's rumors that she dumped people's bodies over the ravine, and there's a hidden cemetery in Olalla, and Kate Roswell and I did a ghost hunt there a couple of years ago. We went with Stig Stench, and we went up there, and all of our equipment malfunctioned. Like, so you have to like park by the side of the road and then hike up, and it's this really creepy cemetery. It's absolutely amazing. And there's documentaries on YouTube that you can watch about it. But the thing is, she went to prison for like a year and a half, 2 years, went to Australia, came back, did it again, and she died by her own cure. She believed so much in this starvation cure that she was trying to cure herself of pneumonia or something, and she starved herself to death.
Whoa.
And it's just an incredible, I'm writing a song about it.
Wow.
Oh yes.
And so amazing, but you can read the books, you can look at the documentaries. There's been people that have gone out to the house and stuff. And
What was her name?
Dr. Linda Hazard.
Dr. Linda Hazard.
Oh, I'm gonna put that in, Dr. Hazard.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but that's so local. It's so local. And
Oh, you can go to her house, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, road trip.
Oh, I
This is lifted.
So Gina says we went out there and checked it out before they tore it down. Whole area was really quiet, disoriented, and feel to it. That's crazy. Yep, here she is.
Ooh.
The
Yeah.
starvation doctor. Like she even looks super creepy. Wait, let me look at that. She looks creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, she does look creepy. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So the way that they found out about this,
super creepy.
there were
Ooh.
two sisters. The way that she got caught, there were two sisters from England that came over, and one of them was dying, and the other one, like, they didn't have any energy because they were starving to death. She like did the army crawl and like escaped to a field in the middle of the night, and somebody picked her up on like the highway. But they don't actually know how many people she killed because she was the coroner. So she would just say that they died of natural causes. A lot of the bodies weren't found. They were probably washed out to sea because Olalla is pretty much all cliffs. And then there's like, you know, all the ravines and everything.
Well, and how many people just deliriously like stumbled to the freaking edge and just fell into the sea?
Yeah.
Or maybe just like jumped into the sea because they couldn't handle being starved to death anymore.
Well, and just being delusional. Like when you're
Yes.
starving, you start not being able to think right. So, you know, even if they went on a little stroll, they could have been suffering from some sort of vertigo from the starvation and fell. Ugh.
Well, are there any last questions?
Yes. what is your advice that you want to give to other musicians?
Yes.
Oh, so I think everybody fantasizes about being a rock star, being famous, and like, if like Nuclear Blast called me and like, hey, we want you to, like go to Europe or something. Like, I love my job and I would totally leave it in a heartbeat. Though you can't think like that, because if you're a musician and you're an artist and you stop creating, your soul dies. So it doesn't matter if you're famous. It doesn't matter if it's your day job. You have to keep doing your art for just so you can stay alive. And I think that's really important. And that's something that, especially being sick a lot, I've really had to like, what role does music play in my life? And we've had to cancel some things because I've been sick. And so it's like, well, we have these awesome opportunities. I want to go to Europe. I want to do this stuff. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. You just have to keep making music and you have to keep creating art. And I think that essentially is the most important thing, even if it's not for other people, it's for yourself. But you also never know who you're going to help. Like, you never know how, like Maxine's story earlier, like you guys had stopped and then somebody contacted you and said how much it meant to you. And you don't know the impact that your art has on other people. So it doesn't matter if you have, 1 million likes on Facebook, none of that stuff matters. You just have to keep creating. And because it can turn into a product. Like, they've proven that like there's 2 dudes in Sweden that write like 80% of the pop songs.
What?
Oh, you didn't know that? Oh yeah. There are these 2 guys in Sweden and they've written most of the pop songs. They're super, super rich. Yeah, Swedish guys. I don't remember their names, but you can look it up.
I'll Google that, yeah. I'm sure what the hell?
Us Swedes, we're pretty and yeah, we got that shit pretty locked down. Just like my oncologist, she said when I had cancer that drumming was probably saving my life, because I could go and have a treatment that day, just feel like total complete crap, like I want to go die now. I just want to go die. But as soon as I get behind my drum kit and like start playing, even though I was super exhausted, like my love for it just took over. And yes, I did have to stop a little bit, but I never stopped playing. Like, I would have to rest in between songs, sometimes take a break if I was playing a certain song, just be like, I can't do this song right now. I just had treatment like 2 hours ago. But my oncologist told me that, drumming releases endorphins in your brain. Endorphins like help attack all the crappy shit in your body. And it also provides and dopamine provides something in your brain that you need to like deal with stressful shit like cancer or whatever may be going. So yes, I believe music has saved my life on several occasions. I cannot live without making music or playing music.
I appreciate music so much for saving your life too. I do. I have a fan story from our Society's Lies video. So we had about 30 zombies, actors, not pro actors, of course, but like people who showed up as zombies for our Society's Lies video. And one of the adolescents that showed up then, he's now an adult, but he shared with me weeks later that it was that project, our zombie music video, that kept him from committing suicide.
Wow.
So, like, he's still with us. Like, to have that be a pivotal moment is beautiful. Like, I'm so glad he's still here. Yeah, he was one of my students, and I'm so glad he's still with us.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. So music saves, man, and that's why I want to save it. That's why I want to save music, because it saves me too.
And it's gonna save other lives out there too.
Yeah, it does.
Not just our lives, but other people's lives too.
It's saving us all right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, ladies.
What a beautiful night.
So awesome.
It was so awesome hanging out with you.
Yes.
And we really would love to have Sirens Rain on the show performing at some point. Hopefully, maybe like after all this COVID-19 stuff is done. So yes,
We would
Please.
absolutely love it.
All right, kids. Well, thank you all for tuning in tonight. What a great night. And don't forget to tune in on Friday. Got lots of cool stuff happening.
Happy anniversary to us, right?
Happy anniversary to Musicians Hangout and to, the musicians around the world too,
Heck yeah.
for sticking with us.
Exactly. We keep building this community for everybody.
For everyone. For everyone. All right. Well, Maxine, you want to take us out?
Absolutely. Good night, everybody. See you Friday.
See you guys Friday.
Oh no, we lost Tony.
Oh no. That was so awesome.
That was really awesome.
Oh, my heart feels so full. Thank you.
Oh, she's coming back in. Yay.